Good morning, everyone. Today is Sunday, July 11th, 2021. You have tuned in to the 9 o'clock morning greeting. My name is Zainab, and today on Channel 3 for our virtual activities at 10:30 is Rosary. So tune in to Channel 3 at 10:30 if you would like to watch Rosary. Alright, so what happened today in history? On July 11th in 1905, members of the Niagara Movement meet for the first time. Niagara Movement members begin meeting on the Canadian side of the Niagara Falls. This all-African American group of scholars, lawyers, and businessmen came together for 3 days to create what would soon become a powerful post-slavery black rights organization. Although it only lasted 5 years, the Niagara Movement was an influential precursor to the mid-20th century civil rights movement. Scholar activist W.E.B. Du Bois was a founding member of the Niagara Movement. 29 men showed up for the group's initial meeting, which discussed establishing an organization to fight racial segregation and promoting the full incorporation of African Americans into U.S. society. Du Bois was determined to pit this new group in opposition to the platforms put forward by the Tuskegee Institute's famed Booker T. Washington, then the nation's foremost spokesperson on black issues. Washington had famously declared in his 1895 Atlanta Promise speech that black people should remain in the South and work alongside white citizens, even in the face of Jim Crow segregation and race-based violence. The Niagara Movement opposed Washington's ideas of appeasement. Members coordinated the creation of several state-level chapters and vowed to agitate for black voting rights, better health care, education, employment opportunities, and civil liberties. Despite continuing to meet annually around the country, membership in the Niagara Movement only reached a high of 170. A large part of its lack of support was due to its opposition towards Washington, who wielded enough influence to limit publicity about the organization. By 1910, the Niagara Movement had completely disbanded, but its principles lived on in the founding of the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, NAACP, in 1909. Also on this day in history, in 1960, on July 11th, To Kill a Mockingbird published. On July 11th, 1960, the 34-year-old novelist Nell Harper Lee publishes her first novel, To Kill a Mockingbird. Set in Macomb, a small Alabama town, much like Lee's native Monroeville, To Kill a Mockingbird is populated with indelible characters, including the book's tomboy narrator Jean Louise Finch, known as Scout, the mysterious recluse Boo Radley, and Scout's father, Atticus Finch, an upstanding lawyer who defends a black man accused of raping a white woman. Now a staple of junior high and high school classrooms, and a subject of numerous censorship efforts, it offers a vivid depiction of life in the Jim Crow South during the Great Depression. By the mid-1950s, Lee had followed her dreams of a writing career to New York City, where her childhood friend Truman Capote had already won fame in literary circles. For Christmas in 1956, her good friends Michael and Joy Brown gave her a check equal to a year's salary, so she could quit her job and devote more time to her writing. Soon, Lee had produced a novel manuscript titled Go Set a Watchman, which she was able to sell to the publisher, J.B. Lippincott and Company, for $1,000 after her editor, Tay Hohoff, suggested she revise the story and expand on flashback sequences set during the narrator's childhood. Lee spent 2 years rewriting her book, calling the revised manuscript To Kill a Mockingbird. She dropped her first name for her publication in order to avoid people mispronouncing it Nellie. Lee's book became an immediate success, winning the Pulitzer Prize for Fiction in 1961, and eventually selling more than 40 million copies worldwide. Gregory Peck won an Oscar for his portrayal of Atticus in the 1962 film version, which also nabbed statuettes for screenwriting and art direction. But the famously private Lee didn't come out with a follow-up. In fact, she wouldn't publish another book for 55 years. Then, in 2015, HarperCollins published the recently rediscovered Go Set a Watchman. The book is set 20 years after the time period depicted in Mockingbird, and features an aging Atticus who has embraced racist views and even attends a meeting of the Ku Klux Klan. Despite seriously mixed reviews and doubts surrounding whether Lee actually wanted it published, the book was a huge hit, selling 1.1 million copies in its first week. The following year, Harper Lee died in Monroeville at the age of 89. So those are today's happenings in history. Again, my name is Zainab. Today is Sunday, July 11th, 2021. For our virtual activities today on Channel 3 at 10:30 is Rosary Service. Hope you all have a wonderful rest of your Sunday. I will see you in the next greeting.